The NFL preseason is here. Training camp is underway, so I figured I'd give you a brand new 2022 NFL Power Rankings coming at you here from Chat Sports' Mitchell Renz. The way that this show is going to go, it's going to be simple. I'm going to go from 32, work my way all the way down to 1, so you got to wait to see who's the best team in the NFL. Before I reveal who I believe right now is the Super Bowl favorite, I want to know from every single person that comes across this video right now, comment below. Who is the best team in the NFL right now? Let's go to number 32. This is definitely not the team. It's the Seattle Seahawks, and I really believe when you look at the offense and defensive side of the football, it's not great. On top of that, you got Geno Smith or Drew Lock as your starting quarterback. For that reason, you're the worst team in the NFL. Coming in here at number 31, you have Davis Mills as the quarterback. I actually like their wide receiver room. Best switches to John Mechie. Also, the defense, nothing really too inspiring overall. I really debated on who was the worst team. At number 30 in my rankings, we're going to go to the NFC South here. It's the Atlanta Falcons. And yes, I like the additions that they have on the offensive side of the football. They got a lot of big guys. They traded for Bryan Edwards. You have one of the best young tight ends in Kyle Pitts. The quarterback situation, though, is a little bit murky overall because what exactly is going to make of it because you got Marcus Mariota. At number 29, it's the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields definitely has some upside, and I don't really think many people debate that. But the offensive line is a major eyesore. This might be the worst wide receiver room in the entire league. Sorry, Darnell Mooney. If Robert Quinn isn't on that defense and if the issues around Roquan Smith are legitimate, the Bears really could struggle. And I don't know if you could tell, they're the lowest team, which means I got even the Detroit Lions over Chicago. Coming in here at number 28, we're going to go back to the NFC South. It's the Carolina Panthers. I know they traded for Baker Mayfield. Reports are that Baker, this might be shocking to all of you, isn't looking all that great. Matt Corral's playing over Sam Darnold. Yes, they have Christian McCaffrey. Yes, they have DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. But the defense is probably one of the worst defenses in the entire league. And then when you're a quarterback, you got 3 of them. There's that old expression, if you got 2 QBs, you got none. Well, what happens if you got 3? You probably even have less than none. At number 27 here, I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions. And really when it comes down to Detroit is I'm hoping that Jeffrey Okudah can take that step up. I will be honest with y'all. I like Detroit's overall draft this year. I like Jamison Williams. I think he is a speedster. I'm hoping that he's going to be ready to rock and roll for the regular season. But you have Jared Goff as your quarterback. That's the major head-scratcher to me. Aiden Hutchinson, he was the guy that should have went number 1 overall in my book, and Detroit was able to get him. So they went up a little bit from the last time I did this video. Coming in here at number 26 is the guy, Trayvon Walker. He went number 1 overall. I believe this could be a very surprising team because when you look at the Jags' defense from top to bottom, it's actually a halfway decent defense. I just want to see what Travis Etienne looks like. I want to see what players like Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, how all those receivers work together. I also hope that James Robinson can come back from that Achilles injury. But really what it comes down to is the brand new head coach, Urban Meyer. He's out the door. Can Doug Peterson rally his troops and get them to really push forward with Trevor Lawrence, who a lot of people thought was the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. Number 25 here is the New York Jets, and this is another team that actually has gone up my power rankings since the last time I did this video, which I believe was right after the NFL draft. I like this defense. The Jets have a good defense. I believe they will have a really pretty legitimate defense. The overall offensive structure, the receivers are pretty well put together, but there was a report that came out earlier this week that apparently Joe Flacco is outplaying Zach Wilson. If that doesn't give you like an uneasy feeling, kind of like imagine a 21-year-old hitting on a bunch of moms type of feeling, that's kind of what I'm feeling about for Joe Flacco outplaying Zach Wilson. Now, what I want you guys to do is join the family. Chat Sports, we're a big, happy family, and I hope that you guys can see that when we're doing our live shows, when we're doing videos just like this. We try to keep you guys up to date with the best NFL news coverage. I was super excited that I made that Deshaun Watson should get suspended for extra games vid yesterday or 2 days ago. It's already can't even think about it in this world. And now the NFL has decided that they're going to appeal that. So I'm happy that that happened. And I want you guys to turn on those notifications. Why? Because it's important to come across the videos first. It helps us out. And who knows, you might even get a shout out on a future show. So shout out to Rockin' Rod G, Carter, Keith, Roderick, and Tokyo. Much love from all y'all. Appreciate you that you joined the Chat Sports family. Let's now go to number 24 here on my list for these NFL Power Rankings. It's the New York Giants. Brian Daboll's done a lot of good in the past with Josh Allen. Can he do the same with Daniel Jones? Because Jones was a prospect that I really wasn't all that crazy about when he first came out of Duke, but there is a little bit of upside there. The Commanders, we're going to stick in the division. You have Carson Wentz, you got Antonio Gibson, you got Terry McLaurin. I think the offensive pieces are there. The defense is also one of the better defensive units in the league on the line, but there are some injury concerns. Coming in here at number 22, probably one of the better defenses in the entire league, led by TJ Watt. But what you see with a lot of these teams, and now we're in an area, and I'm going to call this the purgatory of the NFL, because from 22 to like 13 on my list, I can make an argument to switch around a lot of these teams. The reason why Pittsburgh's so low for me, same thing, quarterback situation. I get Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky. I love me some Najee Harris, Deonta Johnson. But the quarterback position is a major question mark. At number 21, it's the New England Patriots. Mac Jones was the best rookie last season. Personally, though, I think what New England did was very smart. They put a very simple offense in front of him. They established the running game. The offensive line for the Patriots does worry me a little bit, and the fact that they've lost so many of their staff, coaches, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, they moved all those pieces over to Las Vegas. That's going to impact the team on the field. Now, before we get into the top 20 teams in the league, hey, y'all, we are also on Rumble as well. And if you want to be able to listen to these shows like a podcast, you can do that by going to rumble.com/NFL Daily, and it's going to be ad-free. So give us a follow there. It's a growing platform. I'm all about trying to buy into stocks right now. I'm buying into Rumble. We got news, sports, politics, tech, business. It's free, it's uncensored, and if you don't like it, then I'm just kidding. All right, number 20 here on my list, it's the Miami Dolphins. And from an offensive standpoint, this is probably one of the better offenses in the entire league. They improved their offensive line. You added Tyreek Hill. You have Jalen Waddle. You have Mike Gesicki. You added a whole bunch of running backs. But Tua Tagovailoa, to me, stinks, and he's kind of a baby. So, yes, you have a good defensive unit as well. Mike McDaniel, though, does have himself a little bit of an uphill battle. Number 19 of my power rankings, the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, those two have combined for the most receiving yards, quarterback, wide receiver duo over the past 2 seasons. Dalvin Cook's great, brand new head coach in Kevin O'Connell, but the defense is not good, and the offensive line is also very underwhelming. Number 18, producer Trace's favorite team, shout out to Trizzy, is the New Orleans Saints, and right before we came on the show, you can make an argument that the New Orleans deserves to be higher. Jameis Winston last season, 5-2, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Imagine if he had Chris Olave. Now, hopefully you get back Michael Thomas on top of that. You got Jarvis Landry. This is a good team. You added the Honey Badger. Their defense is probably top 5 in my book. They got a great defensive back unit. The New Orleans Saints are a team that I would never want to play in the Superdome. And if that offense can get going, that's the team that's going to go up in my rankings. Number 17 coming in here is the Cleveland Browns, and I base this on Deshaun Watson playing, but it's kind of a hard thing to wrap my mind around because if Watson's playing, I probably bump them up a little bit. But if Jacoby Brissett's out there, they're probably even lower on my list. So I'm just going to go 17 with Cleveland. Number 16 here is the Tennessee Titans. You got Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, best running back in the game. But, Treylon Burks is a little bit of a question mark. Robert Woods is a question mark. The defense hopefully steps up, which was a major eyesore. But at the end of the day, this team was the number 1 seed in the AFC. I have them at 16. Number 15 here in my power rankings. This one all lies on the shoulders of Jalen Hurts. Because if Jalen Hurts can be efficient and take a step forward this season, this could be a scary offense. You got A.J. Brown. You got a hell of a running back in Miles Sanders. And I know we like to talk about the offense, or at least I do, right? Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, but that defense with some of the additions that team made, that's going to be a tough defense. Coming in here at number 14, Kyler Murray's Arizona Cardinals. You don't have DeAndre Hopkins, which that's going to hurt this team early on because without Hopkins last season, Kyler Murray played a lot more like Yoda and a lot less like Kyler Murray. Number 13 here, it's the San Francisco 49ers, and Same thing that I said about a lot of these teams. It comes down to quarterback play. But when you can make it to the Final Four, we know the 49ers have a great defense. I think Kyle Shanahan is one of the best coaches in the league. I think John Lynch has done a good job as being a general manager. You got Deebo Samuel. You got a really good running back unit. George Kittle's one of the best tight ends in the league. But if Trey Lance can't compete, this team could take a serious step back without Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's get into the 12-pack. I'm always ready to crack one open. The Indianapolis Colts on this list could be a sleeper Super Bowl team. I'm not shitting you. They should have made it to the playoffs last year, but Carson Wentz does what he does best. He chokes, and he choked. Now you get Matt Ryan. Michael Pittman's ready to take a step up. You added a brand-new defensive coordinator in Gus Bradley, but you got the best back in the league, potentially, and Jonathan Taylor. That's going to set up Matt Ryan for what he does best. A lot of play action. The Dallas Cowboys are coming in here at number 11, which every time I talk about Dallas on this channel, because Tom Downey's the GOAT, you guys just rip me apart. Dak is good, but the injury to Michael Gallup, the injury to James Washington does worry me. The loss of Amari Cooper, but the defense is pretty legit. You got a good offensive line. I think Zeke, Tony Pollard, they're going to be pretty solid as well. Number 10 here is the Baltimore Ravens, and the Ravens were the number 1 seed in the AFC. Lamar Jackson got hurt, and then they struggled so much that then they didn't even make the playoffs. The running back room with J.K. Dobbins, he says he's healthy. I don't know how much I believe that. The loss of Marquise Hollywood Brown is absolutely going to hurt, but this is going to be a better defense, and I just believe in Lamar Jackson. It's really as simple as that. Coming in here at number 9, the first AFC West team, it's the Denver Broncos. You got a brand new quarterback in Russell Wilson. I feel bad that they just lost Tim Patrick, who was probably one of your better wide receiver 3s in the league, but this really just comes down to a good team that added Russell Wilson. That makes them a top 10 team in my book. Coming in here at number 8, it's the Las Vegas Raiders. I believe that they have the upside to be one of the best offenses in the league. Derek Carr, when he had a full cast last season, was arguably one of the front runners for MVP. You got Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow. A lot of talent on the offense. But the defensive line scares me. The offensive line, it scares me. And the game of the NFL is won in the trenches, which makes me a little bit nervous because I'm a Raiders fan. Now, if there's any Raider fans out there, remember, you can join my locals community at raidersport.locals.com. Scan this QR code right here. I'm going to be going live during the week. I go live at least once a week. I do 2 extra exclusive videos. It's like if you're a diehard Raider fan and you want to know more than your friends and get to know me, right there, scan that bad boy. Let's go to the team that the Raiders took Devontae Adams away from. It's the Green Bay Packers, and you got the back-to-back NFL MVP in Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers isn't on this team and you put just a mediocre quarterback, like if you put Kirk Cousins on this Packers team, I think I could honestly make an argument that they're down at 20. That's how big of a adjustment Green Bay has had, and they've also come down my power rankings a little bit. Number 6 is a team that I've been bumping up because they've done a lot of good this offseason. You had a J.C. Jackson. You got Khalil Mack. You have Bosa in there. But on top of that, Justin Herbert is an extremely talented quarterback. 69 touchdowns his first 2 years in the league. That's most all time. Second, Dan Marino. Third, you got to go all the way down to like 53, which I believe is Derek Carr. But Herbert, that's the guy, man. That's a talented offense. Coming in here then at number 5, so all 4 AFC West teams are in my top 9. I put the Chiefs over the Chargers because I just have more confidence that when it really comes down to the nitty-gritty, the Chiefs aren't going to choke like the Chargers have in years past. Yes, you have Patrick Mahomes. I get you lost Tyreek Hill, but you still got Travis Kelce, though the Chiefs' defense might be the worst in that division. Now, before I reveal my top 4 teams here, y'all, shout out your city. I want to know where you're watching from. Chat Sports spreads far and wide, and I want to know where y'all are repping from. Let's get into the top 4. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here, led by Tom Brady, 45 years old. Happy birthday to the GOAT. I mean, it's pretty incredible when you think about all that. Here's the issue, and not a lot of people, I think, will look at this because you can look at Fat Leonard Fournette. You can talk about Mike Williams, Chris Godwin. The defense is legit. But they lost all 3 of their interior offensive linemen from last year. Losing Ryan Jensen at center made me want to bump the Buccaneers down, but this is the Tom Brady effect. I'm going to put them in my top 4. Number 3 on my list here is the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not predicting a Super Bowl hangover. You got Joe Cool. You have one of the most dynamic offenses in the league with Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and they tried to build the offensive line, and that defense got better on top of that. So, for Cincy, you're number 3 in my book. Coming in here at number 2 is my prediction of the NFL MVP this season. The player, if you're taking a quarterback, number 1 overall in your fantasy leagues, only do it in a 2 QB league, it's Josh Allen. This guy has all the tools in the world, and I can't wait to see what he does this season, which means, number 1, I know it's boring. It's the Super Bowl champs, and a lot of times that's how I do my power rankings. Unless there is a major loss, I'm not going to totally deduct them. Yes, they do not have Von Miller, which is why the Bills have gone up as much as they have in my rankings. But you got Matthew Stafford, you have Cooper Kupp. Kupp last season, 145 grabs, 1,900 and something yards, 16 touchdowns. He was incredible. It's a good defense. It's a great team led by one of the best head coaches in the league. Now, shout out to all of our brand new subs here at Chat Sports, man. We keep growing. We're trying to get to 320,000 subs, and football season's almost here. So Frank, Ronnie, Zach, Alfonso, Alex, I appreciate you guys. All right, y'all, I'm getting ready to get out of here. Let's go through these power rankings one more time. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Chat Sports. We're keeping you guys up to date on everything going on around the National Football League, everything going on around the NBA, and college football season is almost back, and I can't wait for that. So make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on everything going on. If you want to yell at me, remember the DMs, they're always open on Instagram and on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. And if you made it to the very, very end of today's show, I just want to say thank you. There's nothing more important in life than our time. So if you made it this far, you're a real one here around Chat Sports, and I want you to spam real one down in the comments.